Good afternoon to everyone. Let's have a quick introduction of the team here. I am Ketan. I am Microsoft Solutions Head in WPH, and a quick background of WPH. WPH is an system integration and digital consulting firm based out of Singapore. We are present in ASEAN, Philippines, Malaysia. We have our offices, but we serve customers in this region altogether. And we are very much fascinated and focused on the Microsoft stack, the new stack, which is called as Biz. It's not new stack per se, but what's happening new in business applications as one pillar of Microsoft. And with me, I have a pleasure to have Nikhil. Nikhil is actually a senior person from Microsoft, and he's leading Biz Apps from Microsoft side. And while he is with me to tell fascinating and new stuff about what's happening in Biz Apps and precisely in Power Platform area and also Copilot. So now, I think we can start, and I'll hand over to Nikhil first, so that we can go to the things happening in Power Platform and Biz Apps. Over to you, Nikhil. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. And hello and welcome to everyone who's joined us today in this webinar. I hope we make the best use of your time. I'm Nikhil Biani. Like Ethan mentioned, I've been leading the business applications and Power Platform practice for Microsoft in ASEAN, based out in Singapore. Been with Microsoft for close to 15 years, doing business applications, pure business application for close to 18 plus years on all this day been. And to be honest, I've never been more excited than last few years because of the way we are, because of the place that we are at, right? And how we can make that impact and drive that change with a lot of our customers. Now, we all know that we are in the midst of rapid technological evolution, right? And the digital transformation we have experienced so far across, I personally think, is just the tip of the iceberg. As we move forward with a lot of our advanced technological stack, whether it is AI, cloud computing, hyperautomation, data-driven solutions, PI reporting, etc. One of the key factors that would continue to be important to drive this momentum will be low-code applications and automation, right? And the key for that whole thing would be how can we deliver this in a shorter time frame, right? If you talk to any customers today, if I've been talking to a lot of customers, the go-to-market, the time to market is the very important factor for them, right? So, and that's where Power Platform and low code, which I'll deep dive into a little bit more, becomes very important, right? As per our current analyst, we project that over 1 billion new applications will need to be built by 2028. And this could be across any spectrum, right? But what's more interesting is that this estimate doesn't even account for the rapid growing demand for AI integration in these applications, right? The one Ketan was talking about, CoPilot, right? I'll try to demystify some of these terminologies for you in this next 15 minutes. I hope you will, once you go out of the session, you'll understand more better around what CoPilot means, right? How do I simplify this? I'll try to kind of help you on those aspects. Now, the increasing demand, right, is absolutely felt across organization. Now, when I talk to any customer in any industry, the biggest challenge for them is, hey, there's so much demand for these applications. Our developers, our IT professionals, the business analysts, the frontline workers, absolutely everyone are feeling that strain of the sheer volume and the speed of work required today to stay competitive in this market. Right? For example, if you talk about healthcare industry, just an example, right? You'll see that frontline workers are not just managing patient care, but they're also learning to navigate the new digital systems and telemedicine platforms, right? If you go to any of the Singapore ops, you'll see that often without any technical support, right? So they're on their own, right? And similarly, if we talk about financial sectors, we are seeing that developers and IT professionals are constantly working on updating security protocols, automation services, just to keep up with the pace of cyber threats, customer demand for seamless digital experiences, etc. Right? And similarly, our business analysts or the BDMs in the business are being tasked with interpreting an overwhelming amount of data to to provide actionable insights, right? Which is critical, absolutely critical for any decision making in any organization. But it often comes with tight deadlines and very limited resources, right? I'm sure if you've been doing some of these work, you will understand and you'll kind of agree with me, right? And when you combine all of these challenges with the reality that technical leaders are facing, there simply aren't enough skilled professionals in the market to meet this growing demand, right? It absolutely paints a concerning picture for the future, right? I don't want to kind of sugar paint it, but it is kind of concerning, right? And the recent study has absolutely shown us that by next year, many organizations will face that significant talent gap, right? Particularly in key areas like software development, AI integration, data security, etc. And this shortage is absolutely leaving a lot of leaders that I know anxious, right? They always ask, hey, how do I keep up with this innovation? How do I manage my productivity? How do I manage my customer expectations, right? When I don't have a lot of people to go build this new digital solutions for us, right? And the pressure of managing this demand for technical expertise, right, while also ensuring this business continuity growth, the dilemma that's absolutely keeping many organization leaders making digital transformation as top of their priority, right? There's no second thought about this now, and this is why we are absolutely accelerating talent development and exploring alternative solutions like low code, no code platforms, which are kind of becoming very, very crucial from a strategy perspective to elevate this burden for most of our customers, right? And and that's why we are kind of accelerating this developers and new makers. I'll explain that a little bit, maybe to decode this. Now, it's absolutely essential that from what I see is not only accelerate the skills development of our current technical talent and developers in the partner ecosystem or in the customer IT teams, right, to tackle this demand. But however, I personally feel that IT should not shoulder this responsibility alone, right? The complexity and the scale of the task ahead absolutely requires a broader range of contributors in any customer organization, right? And this is where the concept of new makers come into play, right? These are the individuals that I'm talking about who may not have any formal technical training in the past, but they have the right creativity, they have right critical thinking, and they have passion to build these effective solutions, right? And by embracing these right group of people in a customer organization, whether they come from, like I said, business background, operations, or completely entirely non-technical fields, doesn't matter, but we can simply expand our ability to meet these demands by tapping into this new maker market, right? And for those new maker market, as well as to create those easy low code solutions, we have our AI and low code solutions that we offer from a Microsoft standpoint, right? That's our vision, and that's our go-to-market strategy, to be very transparent, with our Microsoft AI and Power Platform solutions, right? So with all of that background, essentially what we are seeing is our Power Platform solutions are absolutely changing the way we are empowering everyone in our customers' organization, right? We have tools like AI tools like Microsoft CoPilot. Ketan asked about this. If I have to simplify it, really, Microsoft CoPilot is an intelligent assistant, or you can treat it as an intelligent agent that will help you make complex tasks that you do today easier, right? Allowing you to focus on your goal, right? So think about Copilot as your personal assistant, whom you can go and ask to summarize information, to ask them to do an automation, or to create those interesting Copilots where customers could, or your broader team could go and ask regular questions just to your agent itself, rather than reaching out to you directly, right? So that becomes like a first layer for you to assist with your daily cognitive task. And then if you still need help, then you can jump in and help your stakeholders, right? That's your Microsoft Copilot in a very simplified fashion. Now, the Power Platform in this whole dynamics is absolutely our low-code tool that actually allows our users to create apps. It will allow you to do automation. It will allow you to create powerful BI reports, or you could create your own AI agents, right? Like the one I was talking about, right? Without absolutely extensive programming knowledge, right? It doesn't mean that developers don't use it. Absolutely, developers can use it. It can range from a low code to a high code platform, but it also allows a lot of our business users to actually use this for some of the simple scenarios. Right? This means that anyone, right, within your organization can absolutely build solutions tailored to their needs, right? So they don't have to go and ask anyone. They can build simple solutions like tracking expenses, right, tracking case management, right, tracking service requests, or streamlining some of the team collaboration that happens within your organization. Now, the best part for me is this is with all of these technologies for last 5 to 6 years, we have absolutely democratized innovation, right? And I do not want to put any uh, wrong picture, but absolutely a lot of our customers, and I'll show you some of the numbers a little later, are using these technologies, and they're far ahead from their competitors when it comes to innovation, right? These solutions, the low-code solution, absolutely is accessible by all the business users, citizens, developers, and IT professionals, right? Which empowers a culture of innovation where absolutely anyone can contribute to new ideas, new apps, new automation, new solutions, etc. Right? By embracing this AI and the Power Platform culture, we are absolutely living to our core motto within Microsoft, which is to empower everyone in the organization, right? But to achieve more, to innovate, to solve problem, and to drive change within organization. Right. So that's where our motion, that's our vision for Power Platform and AI. Now, when you talk about Microsoft Power Platform, let me go into a little bit detail into each of these sections, and I'll try to give more realistic examples so that you could connect to you from your finance team, because I understand most of you would come from a finance teams or finance background in this particular session, right? So let's talk about Copilot Studio, right? Copilot Studio is our platform within Microsoft that allows you to create these AI copilots, right? These AI agents, which can allow you to cater to any B2B, B2C, B2E kind of scenarios, right? When I say B2B, it's business to customers, or business to employee scenarios, right? Now, for example, think from a finance perspective. You could pretty much use copilots to create copilots that could automate some of your tasks like invoice processing, right? Do your compliance check, right? Create agents where your employees could log in and ask questions or request for some reports, like financial reports, for example, right? Or request for information like, hey, what is the budget available for my cost center, right? Rather than you have to provide them that information every time. I think about that. To do something like that, you could absolutely use Copilot Studio to build these Copilot agents or Copilot chatbots. Right. The next is Power Apps, right? Power Apps, again, it's been in market for a very long time. Power Apps is our technology which will allow you to create those custom applications, right? To create your custom apps for it could be, again, like internal use cases, could be external use cases, etc. Right? Some of the examples could be like having created apps that will allow you to automate, let's say, the submission, approval, tracking of expense reports, right? Or if you want to do like development tools for like financial planning, budget monitoring, forecasting, right? Leveraging your historical data, predictive models to manage your own accurate planning. And this is something I think Ketan is going to deep dive as well later in the session. Right? We can also streamline some of the processes like accounts payable by automating like invoice processing, approvals, payments processing, which will essentially reduce errors and speed up your process. Right? You could automatically generate some of the key reports like financial reports, your cash flow forecast report, trial balances, P&L, department reports, expense reports, etc. Right? Which will allow you to save time and absolutely improve accuracy as well, because you've kind of tested and processed that in a very systematic way. Then we have a Power Automation solution, right? And Power Automation solution, again, is a much broader concept for us, which kind of ranges from simple automation to hyper automation, which will allow you to automate some of your critical processes or workflows like vendor payment approvals, for example, or reducing or, for example, routing your vendor invoices for right approvals based on your signing limits or based on your signing authorities, etc. Right? Or if you want to do automation around your expense reconciliation, right? Or your cost center reconciliation. So your bank reconciliations by automatically flagging those discrepancies, generating those detailed reports, and which kind of help you in preparedness for your audit as well, right? Additionally, if you want to do, you can discover use cases like compliance management, right? By auditing or automating some of your internal audit workflows, right? Or your regulatory checks, ensuring that all your financial activities that's happening in the organizations are aligning with your policies, your processes, and create that transparency within your organization. You can automate some of your budget tracking processes, right? And n number of use cases. You could absolutely the scenarios and the use cases are limitless, right? I can keep going on there for hours and hours to talk about different use cases, and the one I'm talking right now are actually the ones which we have already used in many organizations across, right? So this is not something that we can do. This has already been done. This is already something that a lot of customers are using Power Automation for, especially in the finance domain or finance departments. Next one on the chart is Power BI. I don't think I have to introduce Power BI. I'm sure from finance team, everyone would have used Power BI to create those real-time dashboards, your data insights, your collaborations, etc. So Power BI is absolutely part of our Power Platform ecosystem. Then we have Power Pages, which is kind of a new solution in the block. Again, Power Pages is basically a solution which allows us to create those secured portals for interactions, for allowing people to log in and get information. So it's like a app on the website, right? So if you have to take Power App on a website, then that's called Power Pages in a simple sense. We have customers who've used Power Pages in the finance team to create those secure portal for interactions with departments, with vendors, with public, for example, right? So a lot of use cases around that as well, right? And you of course couple it up with a lot of technology available to support a lot of this. Like the biggest is absolutely the data connectors. With the whole Power Platform ecosystem comes with 1100 plus data connectors, which allows you to integrate Power Platform to SAP, for example, to Oracle, for example, to Salesforce, to ServiceNow, or your on-prem data sources, or any data source, or Excel, for example. If you have a lot of Excel files that you maintain, you could integrate all of that to your Power Platform to create these solutions. Right? We also have AI Builder, which will allow you to create those predictive models to do your OCR, the optical recognition solutions. We have Microsoft Dataverse supported in all of these applications, which is basically to create a platform for your secure data management. We all manage this with the help of PowerFX. PowerFX is our technological term which allows you to create those queries, create those coding patterns using simple PowerFX queries or PowerFX codes or terms, right? Like how you do formulas in Excel, PowerFX is that formulas for Power Platform, if in a simple term, right? And then of course, all of this is coming with managed environments, which is absolutely taking care of all your security needs, making sure that the data is managed within your own environments, making sure you don't have to worry about the compliance side of things, right? For example, from a government finance department's perspective, right? So this is in essence what our Power Platform capabilities look like. I'm sorry, I've not been tracking the chat. I just have a single screen today, so I'm just using that. Ketan, if there's any questions, do please let me know.
Yeah, so Nikhil, I just wanted to, on that slide, right, when you were talking that the Power Platform and Copilot, it can really help right from the business users and the citizen developer community till the pro developer, right?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
this is quite interesting, and this is where I think a lot of people get confused, like where does the Power Platform fit in the
No,
whole
absolutely. And I
ecosystem?
actually have a slide to demystify that a little later. I'll talk about different scenarios,
Great.
where it sits in.
Thanks.
Perfect. Now I know I don't have a lot of time, but I'll try to cover this thing. Look, from a from a marketing perspective or from a recognition perspective, you just don't have to take our word for it. Microsoft Power Platform has been recognized as a leader in Gartner Magic Quadrant for enterprise grade low code platform for 5 years in running, right? So this is not 1 or 2 years. We've been on the leader for more than 5 years on this, and that continues to improve, right? And today, currently, we have about 480,000 organizations worldwide who are using Power Platform and Copilot capabilities inside Power Platform, right? And we are blown away by how quickly this technology is being adopted, to be honest, right? This is similar to what we have seen when we launched Microsoft, Office, for example, right? It became a very adoption game. And the reason why is because, nowhere else you get something, to have to have this all of these technologies integrated in one place, right? No other vendor is doing this today, and that's kind of our our differentiation, right? We also believe that most companies will have major business processes dependent on some form of generative AI going forward, right? Which kind of becomes very important for us, that AI adoption and AI use cases are being managed and used by our customers in a very significant way, right? So that's our current number. We have one customer which is PG&E, which is Pacific Gas and Electric, one of our biggest customers who started Power Platform in 2021, and today they have pretty much saved about 527,000 hours and about $75 million in cost in last 4 or 5 years, right? And this is not something that we are providing. This is something that was provided by the company itself on their platform, right? So we're just saying that this happened. And we have a lot of our customers using Power Platform for different use cases, and using this to effect to make, of course, cost saving as well as to improve revenue within the organizations. Now, where do you use Power Platform, right? I mean, essentially, if I have to bucketize this into 4 core buckets, if I have to say that, look, when you want to think about Power Platform, these are the 4 areas you could absolutely start thinking about. And you can, based on your based on your company's priorities, your maturity, you could define which ones is more important for you, right? First is, of course, application modernization, where you could take existing application landscape and see how you can modernize that with the use of Power Platform, right? We have customers who've kind of, who used to use like Excel to track and manage a lot of data, right? They've now moved to Power Apps, where they can just use that Excel similar template, create an app for people to go and enter data, right? Capture data. Now that provides a more systematic way of doing it. That allows to make sure that they're finding all the right permission management, security management, compliance needs, etc. Right? You could think about all those scenarios within your organization where you want to do app modernization. Right? We have a lot of customers who are using Power Platform to extend their existing line of business systems. For example, if they have existing finance systems and if they want to extend it with, like, say, budgeting and AI forecasting, then they use Power Platform to build those solutions on top of their existing line of business applications. We have customers who are using procurement system from third party, but they use Power Platform to create the whole workflows around approvals, signing limits, purchase requisitions, RFP process, etc. Right? So without having to change their whole landscape, they kind of leverage Power Platform to extend their existing landscape. Right? Then we also have hyper automation, where a lot of customers are using Power Platform to create those hyper automation scenarios where they could automate some of their day-to-day tasks for some of their key users in a more simplified and more agile fashion, right? So you could leverage Power Platform to do that. And the last is about creating and building your own copilots, the one I talked about, where you could think about multiple use cases where you could leverage the power of AI to do a lot of these automation tasks, right? For example, the one I talked about, if you want to create your own agent, where people can ask agent any questions, let's say, around your policies, or they want to know more about, okay, what is my process, for example, for new procurement, right? Or they want to know what's the status of my hardware from an asset management perspective, or they want to schedule predictive maintenance, or or they want to schedule like or create a case or create a service request to do specific tasks, right? You could create an agent for that, provide them an interface, and this whole process could be automated with the help of AI, right? So that's in essence what are the different scenarios you could look at from a Power Platform perspective. Now, next is, what is Copilot, right? And I told you that I have a slide which will try to demystify that a little bit. Look, Copilot, if I have to say in a very simple terms for Microsoft, is an UI for AI, right? It's an user interface for anything to do with AI within Microsoft ecosystem. We call that as a Copilot. Okay, so if you remember this, UI for AI, That's what Copilot is, right? So anything to do with AI within Microsoft ecosystem, there's a Copilot for it. And today we have about 90 plus Copilots available already, right? All our technology stack, whether it is M365 Copilot or you look at Copilots in our business applications landscape within finance Copilot or a service Copilot or a sales Copilot or a Dynamics 365 customer service Copilot, a digital contact center Copilot, SharePoint Copilot, you have GitHub Copilot, you have security Copilot, and so on and so forth, right? I can keep going on. But look, we have Copilot that covers pretty much every solution that Microsoft is offering, right? And that's the biggest investment that Microsoft has made so far, and it continues to continue to make, because we genuinely think this is the new era where AI is going to change or transform the way things work, right? So in essence, if I have to simplify Copilots, think about Copilots in two layers. First layer is Microsoft Copilots, right? And like I said, there are 90 plus Copilots in the whole Microsoft Copilot ecosystem, right? These are our first party Copilots, which you can just plug and play, right? Leverage. Right. Then we have second set of scenarios where you can go create custom Copilots. And that's where the lights of Copilot Studio can come into picture. The lights of LLM or the Azure Open AI or Azure AI Studio. These are different solutions available from Microsoft, which allows customers or partners to go and create custom Copilot for your industry, for your use case, for your scenario. Right. So these are the two different buckets we have for offering from a Copilot perspective. Okay, I hope that demystified that a little bit. I know we're getting short of time, but look, I mean, I told you there is a slide for us to tell you about, where does it sit really, right? From a Power Platform perspective, from a no code to a pro code perspective. Look, Power Platform is a technology that allows you to do pretty much all the three, right? If you have scenarios where you want to do simple no code, yes, absolutely. Using Power Platform plus our Copilot capabilities, you can build those apps in a matter of minutes, right? Without having to do any coding or without having to know anything to do with code. For example, in a generic sense, you could just tell Copilot, hey, Copilot, go create me a new application to track and manage expense reports. And within 5 minutes, the new Copilot will go and create you that application. And then you can go modify that, make some minor changes that you need, and your app is ready within like 10 minutes, right? That's the power of no code. Right? If you want to do a little bit of low code, which is a combination of Copilot plus a little bit of development or with PowerFX queries, you could then use Power Platform within our ecosystem, again, to just build those low code applications or hyper automation scenarios. Right. Then if you want to go pro code, right, for your developers, right, absolutely no problem. You go Power Platform with integration to our Azure suite, you can go build those pro code applications as well. So essentially, irrespective of what scenario you're looking at, whether it's a low code scenario or a pro code scenarios, Power Platform is the technology where you start with, right? And absolutely Copilot on top of it has absolutely changed the whole thing. The ideas of the no code, low code, pro code are absolutely going away, by and it's kind of getting replaced by Copilot first development approach, right? Which kind of gives everyone the ability to use natural language to write your code, right? Within even our pro code, our developers could use Copilot within pro code scenarios to write code. Right, so that's the world we are going to live in and already living in, right? Just couple of more slides, and then I'll go into a couple of key topics, and then hand it over to Ketan. Look, this is from a quantitative terms. The benefit of AI in low code, absolutely, we think it's massive, right? And we've already seen the signs of it from a lot of our customers. For example, we have makers, the app makers who are using Copilot in Power Apps, and they've said that they have used 88% fewer clicks and were able to do the task 60% faster when building apps, right? And those who did not do that, makers did not do that, right? Or those who do that are 65% more satisfied when compared to other people who did not use Copilot per se, right? So that's the benefit that we are already seeing from our customers. And these are numbers, like I said, not something that we are saying. This is something said by our customer itself from Kona Services, who measured these in their organization. Kona is North American Coca-Cola bottling business, so that I make sure call out, and that's a massive organization in itself, right? Now, with that, that's the end of my presentation. I hope it was useful. Absolutely, I'll stick around for any questions at the end. Ketan, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Nikhil. It was quite a lot. Actually, Power Platform is a very expansive platform in itself, and we have not touched biz apps at all.
Yeah, I,
So,
that I think
so,
I need
so
another 2 hours.
right. And 2 hours, I think it's like 2 hours per app will be the thing. But yeah, thanks, Nikhil, for such a great explanation of Power Platform. So now I will directly jump on to the financial planner from that perspective. Is like how and where this all this comes together to help our FP&A folks, and how this will help them to make their planning and budgeting process a little more streamlined, little more collaborative, little more intuitive. So I'll not take more time. I think Nikhil already mentioned that low code is here to stay, and with Copilot, it's just the beginning now because the adoption is great. Just I wanted to highlight this ISCA. This is our Institute of Singapore Accounting Standards. So they have come out with this number from their own interaction with business leader in finance and accounting functions, that around 72% agree that Gen AI, or in a sense that Copilot based solutions, will impact how we do finance and accounting today. And this is supported by other folks like Deloitte of the world, KPMGs, and even IBM. Puts like it's on, they are putting a different perspective that the errors part of it will be reduced if we can leverage AI in some way in our overall process. Now, with that as a background to our discussion today, let's move to, I want to discuss the evolution of this, the overall planning part of it. And like like just to give the background, I'm a certified financial planning from CFI Institute. So I do understand a bit, and I work with a lot of customers in the finance and accounting part of their business. So essentially, and I would like to see your comments as well. Like, where are you in this evolution or this journey of FP&A? So I have seen like the complete manual Excel based or email based process where different departments, the HR department or your finance department or even your corporate planning part, your project managers, everyone is disconnected, decentralized, and they are somehow managing the whole cycle of budget planning in Excel plus email plus something. And this was the problem. And then many tools did came up. Like it's not like we're still there. I hope not. And we started having some financial planners, budget planners, but yeah, they did the unified data. They were forward looking. They have that connections to different platforms, and they did a lot of good stuff around the financial planning, budget planning in a sense. But still, from my experience, they were confined to the corporate finance group. And essentially, corporate finance was using this tool and then interacting or collaborating outside the planner for to do the planning per se. And this is where our planning goes one step ahead, where is it AI powered, low code powered way of thinking how I can streamline it. So basically, what we are saying that it's like when the AI comes in, like automated data hygiene, right? So you have systems like SAP, Oracle, like Nikhil mentioned, we have connectors. And on top of that connectors, we can embed AI or infuse AI to make sure that we get the right data in the right context for our planning purpose. We can have streamlined model building, like how your business looks at the finance. And I got to know this because I was doing finance planner for public sector or government agencies. Also, I was doing from SMC kind of customers and also for the corporates, and they have different perspective. So there's no one tool fits all situation here. But given the tools right now, they have a standard process and you have to force fit your planning accordingly. So that's another concern right now. And then because of AI makes your data analysis really fast because it can understand. We all have used Chat GPT, for example. It can really understand the data and give you the summary. And at the end of the day, your financial planning ends up with the summary, right? And finding insights from your data, right? Like what's the financial planning, what's the impact, what is the what if scenario, what is the scenario planning and all that. And we'll go into that in a bit. So with that as a concept, what we see, how we see as budget and financial planning in totality is like I can do planning. So that's like a very descriptive planning I want to do. I want to plan it, I want to execute it, I want to monitor it. Very simple. So the planning plus budgeting as well. So apart from like this part comes together in a way that your HR plan, your sales team, your revenue planning, everything, even your expense planning comes together to create the holistic planning as a and with a collaboration that everybody is able to see, given the roles they play, they can really see what's happening and how they're happening. And the visibility is real time in nature. And this is all happening because of the platforms we have right now. Then this is modeling in a way that you can put it like a forecasting as like a AI-led forecasting. We have already seen that. So I will not go into that. AI is used for forecasting. Now, the more important part is the modeling, the what if scenarios. We can have scenario planning, and then we can see how different things, different parameters impact my planning. And that's the whole idea of scenario planning. And that is where we can have AI plus these digital applications collaboration come in. So AI alone is good, but with collaboration with digital things coming together, it becomes super powerful. So I will start with this slide and hopefully I will end with this slide itself. So when I write this one, that reimagine your planning, your budget planning with Power Platform and Copilot. So what are we saying? I put it in the context of 4 A's. One is AI first, automated, app oriented or digital first, and then enabled by analytics. Now, analytics can be descriptive or prescriptive. Descriptive is like regular analytics, and prescriptive or predictive is like AI-based analytics. Both can be done. And this is where we started working on this financial planner for some of our customers. And this is what I want to show you today. So essentially, what we want to do, there are many things, but still there are spreadsheets across. The data is not in a readable format. You are reading something, but it is not in the data which you can use. Then that becomes a bottleneck. And then like there are a lot of people needs to be involved, right? From your senior management, your CEO, till your project managers, because project managers may need a hiring manpower requirement, and that needs to be captured while you are doing your financial planning. And if you're missing that particular piece of information, then the decision making is not 100%. And that's why we are doing financial planning in the first place. But that is the feedback which we got from many of our customers, that that's the biggest problem. Like no, the information from the ground level is not coming up in the right way. And once the plan is ready, then when the things starts to roll, things are unearthed. So can we do something beforehand? Can we include everyone? And with that essence, we started working on planner. And this is where the planner, like how again the 4A comes together. We want to automate all your data collection and integration. We want to enable apps like Appway or the UIs for planning and collaboration throughout your organization. It's not only for finance folks, it's not only for HR folks, even managers, you project managers, you have your procurement folks, you can have your accounts payable, account receivable, all the teams can come together and start saying that, okay, this is what it is, this is the feedback we have. And then analytics, which is on demand and real time. So everybody has visibility what's happening, what are the new things happening, what are the changes happening, and even the scenario planning can help you in this. Like you can create multiple scenarios, which all your even your CEO can see, okay, these are the different scenarios people are thinking, and then the discussion can happen. And then finally, with intelligence. So this is the place where you have the clean data, you have the streamlined processes, you have everyone coming together, and then you have AI. This is very important to understand from a business context. If you don't have a right data, if you don't have right collaboration, your AI is like, that's the famous line, right? Garbage in and garbage out. That is what will happen, and we want to minimize that particular piece of garbage in and garbage out. Make sure we automate our processes, we clean our data collection processes, we have a platform where everybody can collaborate, correct things in the right time, in the right spirit, and also have the visibility of the analytics. And then we can have our AI-led planning and all. This is how actually it will look. So at the end of the day, all your data will come up. You have a centralized layer, which I think what Nikhil mentioned is a dataverse. This is where the dataverse sits in. And you have a planner app, you have analytics, and then you have an embedded AI to help you out. And now I'll quickly jump into the demo. So I'll have a very quick overview. I hope you can see my screen with the planner, and don't be intimidated by this view for now. I will go through the whole planner as a process in a bit. So basically what happens is, this is like, you can use work stream. We use the work stream as a keyword. Wherever we see that the money is coming in, we are gonna earn something. And then every work stream can have work items, where this is the real items which we can quantify in the terms of revenue. So this is where you can plan what is the revenue coming in, what are the sources of revenue, and the under department. So basically how it works, one work stream can be your one pillar, and in the one pillar, then you can have multiple initiatives which will get you, like the sales initiatives, or in the public sector space, it can be your the budget part coming from the government itself. So there are two ways to look into this. So you can put it as a work stream or the revenue streams, and under revenue stream you have different revenue items. So maybe like I'm selling 5 items under one category. So one category can be one work stream, and then I can have multiple uh, items to sell to get revenue. So basically, this is how the work stream and work items work. And then on top of it, we have a supporting plan of HRs. So if you see, for each work stream, I can have a HR planning or HR requirement, manpower requirements, which is a cost, and which can be taken as a headcount and the average costing, or which can be taken as a overall costing as well. So this is how, but we are putting right today. We have we will be showing the headcount way of doing. So we have an average costing of a headcount, and then we plan headcount in for our next year planning per se. And finally, we have spend plans. So people can go and look into the spend plans. Again, it is tied to your work stream, right? The business unit per se. or something which holds the whole team together. Now, for every work stream, you can plan multiple expenses which are not HR expenses. So that's where we split, and then expenses can be split further into multiple categories like recurring expenses or ad hoc expenses and so on and so forth. And all these comes together to create the overall budget plan. So if I go and see this sample budget plan, now why we have all these things coming together. So this is the okay, let's I have created a one work stream which says that okay, there's a like I want to do something on the financial results and financial year closing. This is my project per se. And using this project, I started creating my annual plans. Okay, this is where I'll get the funding. This is from the government point of view. That's why you see a lot of governments kind of a things. But for example, I'm getting this kind of budget on a quarter to quarter basis or annual basis. Also, I know that okay, for this I will get this kind of money from the government. Or in the other way, you can put this as a revenue stream. So you can put like okay, like if I sell this service, I will get this money, and if I sell Power Apps, I will get this kind of revenue. This is my estimated. Now, to support that plan of revenue generation or to conclude to do that particular work in the government space, for example, the budget is given to me, so I have to have a manpower. So this is where I can plan my manpower. So basically, for to do different stuff, I need to hire different people, and to hire different people in different departments. All these dimensions can come in, and I can start doing my budgeting on the HR side of the things. Now, the good part is this is same work stream where my HR team is working, my sales team is working, and even my finance team or my procurement team is also working, who understands and who knows that okay, what are the requirements for the purchases or the expense part of it. So maybe I just put like a new laptops we need to buy because of some reason, and maybe we can have more detailed expense planning here. So we can have split expense planning. We can plan it accordingly. Now, this is where people are interacting and talking to each other. And if you see here, I can go inside, I can do my planning, I can have my resource plans, I have my timelines. So I can talk here, I can have everything documented at one level, at one place. And all this is automated, all this is integrated with each other. And similarly, if I want to go back and if I want to say, okay, this is my work item part. So again, I can find out okay, what revenue I'm gonna generate uh, in this particular from this particular work item, which will eventually roll up to my work stream level revenue in a sense. Now, all this is cool, right? So how it happens, like, oh, okay, everybody is working and everybody is contributing, everybody from the right from the project managers and the junior project managers up to the senior project managers, directors up to the C levels. This is where everything comes up, and this is all real time. So we have dashboards on the from the budget point of view, and these dashboards are real time. They refresh it. And see, this is where your management can see in real time what are the things available in your plan, how your plan is going, what are the work items on track, what are the work items at risk, and whether the budget is whatever budget is allocated or revenue is achieved or not in the commercial space kind of thing. What is my headcount analysis? Whether the variance is too high, is it out of control, and so on and so forth. Now, if you see, this is from the senior management point of view, there's no detailed item. It's just like at a eagle eye view, I can see what's happening in my company from the, and this is not only at the budget planning part of it. Now, this will allow us to track what's happening right now because the plans can be updated on the actuals as well. So if you see everywhere it's the planned and the actual. So everywhere if you see there's a budget which is planned and budget which is actual. where the headcount is what is planned, what is actual. Also, the variance can happen on year basis. That okay, last year we had this kind of headcount. Now this year we are going for the headcounts are increasing or decreasing. Similarly, at a group level or a corporate function level, we can have another dashboard which can go down to individual work streams, and individual work streams can have different details and different insights. So I can have, okay, what are the work streams which are doing good, which are the work streams which are not doing good, and the headcount analysis, what are the headcount approved, how many headcounts we have overshooting the headcount or not. And from the group power group manpower point of view, which departments are overshooting, and all those like high level analysis can be done. Similarly, at a finance level, now you really want to go inside, okay, from the spend point of view, what are the items people are spending and all that, and you need to take a cognizance of those areas, and this is where you can have. And if I just click this is all interactive. Now you don't have to find out. You can just say, okay, from this thing, I have these spend items. These are the work items related. So I understand, okay, this is a work item is technical support, and the spend item is also very similar in that same nature. And from the HR point of view, again, now the different perspective is given to the HR team, and the HR can have detailed headcount analysis at their end. Again, all this is visible to all the stakeholders. So it's not like I can only see my manpower analysis. If I want to go back and say, okay, my headcount analysis shows that some problem in this department and all. So I can go even to my department level and start seeing, okay, where the problem is, where exactly my headcount is being consumed. Everything can be done. And the best part is this is not out of the box SaaS solution. It is something which is built for you, built by you, can be customized, can be configured the way you like it, the way your financial process works. Yeah, we will help you in a sense that the best practices comes in, but yes, again, we can tweak the processes. Without putting more time here, because it is like a very detailed thing, I will put a context like how Copilot in the first place comes in. Now, I want to interact with my uh, data to find out what's happening in my like in a corporate plan per se, right? So now this is the beauty of Copilot that I have not done. Actually, I built this Copilot in an hour. So what Nikhil is saying is actually true. Behind the scenes is the power of Power Platform and the whole Microsoft ecosystem, which makes it super easy. But essentially, this is done once the planner is ready. I just added a Copilot on top of it. And trust me, I have not configured or did something different. It is just like it's working. So if I just want to ask, what are my top revenue items? Revenue. And actually, this should give me, hopefully, all the relevant items from my data and have a quick glance on that. Now, this becomes super powerful rather than having your monthly or a quarterly report going to your senior management. You can have this kind of a chatbot to your senior management directly, and they can really find out what they really what is important to them. So, for example, top revenue stream include this something, right? And it has given three, and it gives me the link. If I really want to go, then I can go and open the same stuff, but which I don't want. So I still want to ask, okay, can you share more details on HR account? Yeah. So hopefully it understands and what happens in the headcount planning. So now it is going to the scenario planning part of it, which I wanted to show you separately, and I'll come here as well. So The last piece for the day, I'm sorry, we are just overshooting. I just want to show you a glimpse of how the scenario planning works. So technically now, basis our existing plans, if I want to do scenario planning and variance analysis, I can do that on the platform itself. Now think about it. I want to mimic, I just use this thing. Like for example, I want to mimic this same budget and report, that's my revenue stream. I want to mimic this one. Now I want to say, okay, you know what? I think from I want to see how my plan works. If my revenue changes to 12% and my HR cost changes by 8%, and my spend actually is increased by 25% because of whatever, and my average salary is more or less, like for example, like 60,000, and I just save it. Now if you just give this system 2 or 5 seconds or so, now it has already created a plan for you. Now behind the scenes, there's some AI, there's some logic, everything is coming together, and it gives you the overall picture of how you will fare given these are the changes you have done. And on top of it, now you can see all these different variations. So for example, this is my first scenario where my revenue or sales growth is 12%, my spend change is 5%, my HR cost is this. So what is my margin? What is my base margin? This was my starting margin. And because of these changes, my margin will be 47.6%, 47.6%, and so on and so forth. And this is how it will start working for you. On top of it, if I want to really be a drastic thing, that okay, there's 1% no revenue change per se, HR cost is changed by 50%, and my spend is by 100%, and salary is actually boomerang to 70,000, 78,000, something like that. And if I want to do this analysis now, so it will start. So I'm just putting this like big number so that the changes are drastic. So it will take some time to refresh. While it is refreshing, sorry, I did a mistake. I have not tagged the stream ID. So I'll just add the stream ID here and I'll save it again. So let me see. Yeah, maybe I'll create a new one. I think that's not the right way. So if I put again with 1% increase in your this is 50% increase, and this is my 100% increase in my spend. My salary is now $25,000. Oh, no, not this much. Yeah, and I save this one. So within some time, it will go and start creating a plan, right? So it has already created your plan. Now, if I go and close this one, maybe I'll just delete this one, and you can delete anytime you want. Now, this is where it looks right. Your margin, new and everything. See, your margin is dropped to 17%, and your profit is also dropped by a lot. So all these things can be done. The final part is we have already seen the Copilot. Copilot, now you can start interacting with this Copilot. That okay, what is the scenario plan and all that. Maybe I can also start like I want to do scenario planning in a sense, and then this Copilot can also help you drive with this the scenario planning. So for example, I'll just put in, this is like, you can be a little more, you can write it in a better way, just writing in a very, very rough way, revenue growth, uh, and HR cost is increased by 8% with expenses increased by 20%. And Copilot is smart enough to have a replicate stream. So I say, okay, I want to replicate the same stream. I'll just copy paste for now this stream. And it will go in the backend and create the same whatever we did here. It will do something similar behind the scenes at the end of the day. So essentially, it is like, okay, that's when, and then it's okay. I'll continue with this discussion. Now, finally, with this dashboard, the last thing is you don't even have to go outside your app. All your analysis can be even done with the real-time data in your app itself, because all the data is sitting in the single app, and you can really generate your reports on the go. And that's the power of actually Power Platform, because as Nikhil mentioned, Power Platform brings in Power BI, brings in Dataverse, brings in the app and everything. Now, if you see, I have a complete analysis on revenue, like how my revenue variation is driving my margin variations. So if my revenue variations happen like this, so my margins are like this. And this can be little like tweaked and optimized for your look and feel. But at the end of the day, if you see at the bottom, there's an analytic. This is not done by me. It is like the system is doing itself. So what is the impact when my expense variation happens? So my margin drops a lot. And then because if my my spend is changing, mm, so what is the impact of my spend change on my revenue variance? What is the impact of my variance on my new margin? All those things can be derived ASAP quickly. So for example, I want to see my impact of my margin, but now I want to use spend. So if I change my spend, what is the impact on my actual new margins? So if you see, if I'm changing my if I changing my spends, right? So my new profit and the margins are changing differently. And now you can use all this in your reporting, in analysis on the go, and different variations, different uh, reporting can be achieved. Yeah. So I think because we are rushing through, any questions I would like to take? We have few questions basically. So let me just go back to the slides for a minute, and then we come to the questions. We'll take 5 minutes more to complete the webinar. So I started with this slide in the beginning that, okay, how AI automate apps analytics work together. And this is how these things will help you in your overall planning. So basically your like AI is at every layer, even you're interacting with your data. If you want to act on your data, or you want to have some intelligence or insights out of your data, all everywhere your AI will start working. Now, the thing is, you may not realize that AI is working. That's the beauty of it. So because of because Power Platform, AI is integrated so much, and it's so easy to infuse AI everywhere, that it becomes very good, and it's also easy. Then we've seen automate. So from end to end process point of view, you bring everyone together with automate an app, and then the collaboration will start, the visibility will be there, and at the end of the day, the analytics brings that real-time reporting, real-time data sharing with all the right stakeholders at the right time. And the promise is why we are so excited about the CoPilot and Power Platform. It, for example, this budget planner is built for you by you. This is not a SaaS platform which you have to force fit on yourself. Then at the same time, it brings all the benefit of cloud. It is scalable. It is future proof. Power Platform, as Nikhil also mentioned, that is one of the biggest investment from Microsoft happening at on the AI and the Power Platform and the low code stuff. So it brings in all the better things of cloud, but it doesn't stop you to configure and it doesn't stop you to customize even. So that's the best, like that's a key takeaway. So it is configuration is still okay, but at the end of the day, you can even go ahead and do the customization the way your business, your company operates. And I will share these slides. So these are some facts which are from CFI and other financial like corporate finance institutes. So that this will be very interesting for you. With that, I will close the presentation and basically I will rather go for some question answers. I'll see if Nikhil and I can answer few things. I'm going to the chat panel, the Q&A panel now. On the CoPilot licensing, maybe I will connect with you also on different aspects of CoPilot, how we use it, because there are two versions of CoPilot, as Nikhil mentioned, is a CoPilot Studio and CoPilot with Microsoft, and both can be like CoPilot can be extended using CoPilot Studio as well, and both have different licensing mechanism. So we can discuss on that, and maybe Nikhil can also add on to that.
Look, CoPilot again. My question is very generic around the licenses for this CoPilot. In essence, there are different versions of CoPilot. We have like Ketan mentioned, we have M365 CoPilot, which is CoPilot on our M365 landscape that comes with a $30 user license. We have CoPilot Studio, which is a standalone Copilot, which will allow you to build standalone Copilots. That comes up with a $200 per tenant on 25,000 message pack licenses per month. And then we have Copilots within our Power Platform ecosystem, which comes inbuilt, ingrained within our Power Platform licenses. There is no add-on licenses for that, right? So I hope, depending on which Copilot you were talking about, that would be our general licensing. But of course, if you need more details, specific scenario, we can work with you on the licensing aspects of it.
Another question is on the Copilot can help on budget planning. But this is the budget planner. Actually, this planner is built for very large enterprises. This was actually built for few public agencies in Singapore. So this planner actually can work, and the Copilot is already embedded. So if you see the Power Platform, it's already there in the app itself. You don't have to go outside. But the Copilot which I have shown is a Copilot Studio, which is integrated to Dataverse, and it is talking to your data in the Dataverse environment. And once the data is a little cleaner, and the data is very less in our environment right now, there are only 10 or 20 records. Once the data is more, then the Copilot can really get you a good summarization, analysis, feedback, and all that. And finally, yes, I think this Copilot can, I think Dynamics 365 FNO already comes with its own Copilot. Plus, we can have additional Copilots using Copilot Studio. I think, Nikhil, that's right, correct?
That's correct. I mean, you can extend our existing Copilots, or you could build Copilots on Copilot Studio that could integrate with FNO from a database perspective, from a data source perspective. Just reach out to us if you have any use cases, any scenarios that you want to work on. We'll be happy to help.
Okay, so thanks everyone for joining. Absolutely my pleasure. And Nikhil, thank you very much for taking your time out and giving the latest and the greatest from Microsoft and Power Platform. I am a Power Platform Copilot enthusiast, and it's lovely to hear all these things, what the new things are happening.
Absolutely, no, my pleasure. Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting.
And all the guests, please let us know your feedback, as well as what other things you want to learn on in the area of Power Platform and Copilot, and we'll be happy to work on that.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining and staying till the end. Thank you.